Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Boomi How To. In this one, I'm going to be showing you how to pass a request header into your Boomi process for whatever you want to use it for. So we're going to be making the call from Postman. Say we want to pass the header test into our process with the value of 1. Come over to here. So there's actually two ways of doing it. There's one with an API service component. I'll show you how to do that one first. And then there's one with a listener process that is a simple or RESTful one. Simple RESTful listener process. That's a little bit different, and I'll get more into that as the video goes on. But for now, let's start with the API service configuration one. So once you have your API service configured, you want to navigate down to the advanced settings, and there is a dynamic document property headers tab here. We want to click on the add header button, and you want to put in the name of your actual header. So if we put test, that's the one we expect to send. It has to be, it's case sensitive, so make sure it matches completely. If it's all uppercase, set it to all uppercase, all lowercase, all lowercase. We'll save that. Within the process, we will be past the process actually grabs it using a dynamic document property. The prefix for the dynamic document property is going to be in header underscore and then the actual header name. None of this here matters for passing it. It's just showing you that it's going to work, right? So the decision shape is going to see, we'll set up the decision shape to actually see the value of the header coming in. And if it's the actual value that we set, it's going to go down the true. If it's not, it's going to go down the false path. But to set this up, we'll do the first value as a document property, then dynamic document property, in header underscore test. Make sure that this is the same as what you're sending from your client as well. So it's all lowercase. Make sure it's all lowercase, all uppercase, all uppercase. Click OK. So that's set up. The second value, we expect it to be 1. So we'll check for 1, the static value of 1. We'll click OK. And we'll save it. Come back to the API and save that as well. We'll create a package component, just deploy it. All right, so that's deployed. That's set in the parameters. We want to actually set it in the header. So let's test. So we'll send this. So it's found, right? It checked that the value was 1. It was 1 and it sent down the true path in the process. But we can also change that value just to show you that it's actually reading it. So if we send it to, or change it to 2, and send it. You can see that it went down the false path and returns not found. It's not found. But that's basically all it is for the API service component. Now, if you want to do this with a intermediate API or intermediate API, you're going to have to use the simple URL within the computer, within the shared web server configuration. And just grab that from here. We'll copy it and we'll paste it in our URL just for further use. So we're not going to be using the service component, so we can forget about that for this second part of the demonstration. But the actual prefix for the dynamic document property changes when you're using a simple API. It's not just in header, it's going to be in header underscore capital X dash WSS dash, and then your actual the actual name of the header. We'll click OK, click OK, click OK, and then we'll save. Create a package component just with this, since we're not using the API component anymore. Deploy that, test. Looks good. There's one more thing we actually have to do. Simple APIs don't work with the API type advantage. That's only for the or listeners or API listeners that use API components. So we're gonna have to come in here and just switch it down to intermediate and then save it. Come back in the Postman. Last thing we got to do is actually change the prefix here. So if you're using a simple API, you actually have to put the X dash W SS dash and then header name as the prefix for your actual header as well. This looks good. We'll change the value to 1 and we'll test this now. So we tested it and we got the found response. Do it again. Found again. We changed the value to 2. You can see that it's sending it down the pause path. So it is taking it into consideration when it's making the calls. All right, but that is about it for how to make calls using or how to pass a request header into a process, whether it's a simple listener or a listener using a API service component. Thank you so much for listening and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.